Here now is retired four-star General Jack Keane, a Fox News senior strategic analyst. General, thanks for coming on. What is your take on this situation right now, and what do you think that Mike Pompeo's stance is right now?
Yeah, certainly. Great question. I think what the Singapore summit was largely about was one deliverable, and that is simply the pledge that North Korea would indeed denuclearize with a signature on a document. That was the deliverable. And now, amid the reports, of course, that we're getting, in the public domain, that they're actually expanding their nuclear, their ground and submarine ballistic programs, Secretary Pompeo knows the details of what North Korea is truly up to. So he's going in there with that knowledge that goes way beyond what we've been exposed to in open press. But what the deliverable is, what he wants from them is specifically this. He wants the identification and location of all of their nuclear sites. That's fuel storage, research, testing, etc. And the same for their ballistic missile sites. And also, something we don't talk about, but our government is very much aware of, is chemical and biological weapons that we know they're holding. He wants the location and identification of all of that. Step two, then he wants access to be able to verify what they just provided to him, and that would be with inspectors and international observers to be able to do that. Now, once they give us this information, we'll have a sense if they're telling the truth or not, Melissa, because we know some of that ourselves through our own intelligence agencies. Yeah. And then the final thing is what people are talking about is a timeline to disarm and to dismantle. And we will arm wrestle with them over that. It's assuming the other two steps are there and it's accurate. Then he wants, at least on paper, a timeline. They'll probably want that over several years at a minimum, and we'll want to do that in a couple of years at a minimum.
I mean, I would ask you, because you know all of these players, and we're looking at video right now of May 9th, and everybody's smiling back and forth, and Kim Jong-un is smiling, and Mike Pompeo is smiling. Do you think that's his posture now, or do you think that he's gone over there with a very serious stance, we're not fooling around anymore?
Yeah, but he's dealing with the Asian culture, and building up trust here is very important. And also, we got to understand that the lack of real substantive dialogue between these two nations, the United States and North Korea, and the lack of ambassador and diplomatic relationship is profound. So, and in that culture, you don't have one or two meetings and then you're buds all of a sudden and you're going to go out and make a substantive change. Actually, the social aspect of it, something we don't talk about too much because we don't see it, is also pretty important. And sometimes decisions are made in social settings, to be quite frank about it. So the trust factor and patting on the back and smiling, and you saw that a lot with President Trump and Kim Jong-un. We can't be dismissive of that. Some people are. Yeah. Those are important points in this culture that we're dealing with. And we bring a different culture to the table ourselves, obviously. We're very much more pragmatic, and we have a tendency, we want to get something done yesterday, and we want to see action, and we have energy around all of that. So those two cultures will come together here, and I know that Secretary Pompeo is very clear-eyed about what he needs North Korea to step up to. And if he believes that they're not really stepping up, and they're just playing him, certainly he'll tell that to the president, and then they're going to go to Plan B.
Yeah. General Jack Keane, is always wonderful to have you on. Thank you, sir.